are getting the pressure from the supernova shock, aftershock or shock waves. Okay,
Yes.
so it's all around the Earth.
Yeah.
So now your theory is that the constellation of the planets,
Yeah.
the constellation of the planets, you say it is very dangerous. There can be very dangerous constellations if they are in one line. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes. I make research on planetary constellations since 2007. In these 3 or 4 years, I found out that if several planets are on one line or axis with the Sun and the Earth, then it's very dangerous for a part of the Earth's surface.
Why?
Why? Because the pressure waves from the supernova explosion from this direction are reduced, and then the pressure on the Earth is reduced in a certain part of the Earth.
So you mean those shock waves,
Yes.
pressure is going through the planets also?
Yes.
It goes through actually, but of course because it's a big mass,
Yeah.
it is reduced.
It's reduced.
So when a few planets and the Sun
Yeah.
and the Moon most probably
Yeah.
are in front in one line
In one line.
with the Earth, and the Earth is on the last place,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Which means then the pressure is less and less and less on this part of the Earth which is facing,
Yeah, well, you know,
right?
which is facing.
So what does that mean? But the pressure from the shock waves are around on the other side.
This is 100%. This is a normal pressure.
Yeah, but why? I mean, what's the influence on Earth then?
Now, because we have less pressure on one side of the Earth in a certain region, the crust of the Earth has less
have
pressure.
it here in
Yes, yes, we can show it.
Okay.
We can show it here. If you have less pressure on the Earth, then the Earth's crust is going up, not only between 10 to 20 meter, but can be, depending on the planets on this line, up to 20-30 meter. One side, because we have an under pressure zone here, and on the other side we have an Earth rotation, and the Earth rotation produces the centrifugal forces, and then the Earth's crust is pressed in this direction to the centrifugal forces, and therefore in this region there's a big danger for the structure of the Earth to move the different plates. You know, we know on the Earth.
So you mean the different plates which are also above each other?
The different layers, yes.
Start to rub?
Yes.
Okay.
And there is an additional, and now through these forces we have an additional force which works in this direction, and because the Earth is rotating more, if the Earth rotates more in the same direction, then again we have the normal pressure, and then all the crust is pressed against the center of the Earth, and this movement can trigger very heavy earthquake between 8 and 9.
So, meaning the Earth, let's say it like this, the Earth is like a ball, you know, like a rubber ball.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, when you put pressure on one side, or you step with your foot on this ball,
Yeah.
then it looks like actually a baseball.
Yes.
Okay, so like an egg or something like this.
Yeah.
Meaning, to these sides where there is no pressure or not normal pressure only, it can explode.
Yeah. It's on one side it's an expansion, on the other side the pressure reduces the diameter. So with a certain constellation, the Earth can look like a baseball for short time. Mm-hmm. This is for short time only, you know. And these forces, they can trigger this heavy earthquake.
Okay. And you actually proved it.
Yeah.
That there was always, when there was a dangerous constellation of the planets towards the Earth, that there followed heavy earthquakes, and if those earthquakes were in the sea, then a tsunami followed.
Yeah.
So, for example, you started to study this one 2 or 3 years later after a big tsunami, okay, in 2004.
Yeah.
But you calculated it later on that exactly there was this very dangerous planet constellation.
Yeah.
So, explain.
I published in internet a warning for a very dangerous time, and then the first event happened on 29.
After you started your studies. Okay.
Yeah, the 29 September 2009 with the Samoa earthquake with 8.0.
And you predicted it before?
Yes, and I published it in the book and in the internet, and after the Samoa earthquake of 8.0 magnitude there was a tsunami, you know. Before I started I started the research in 2007 based on the Turkey earthquake in 1999 and the solar eclipse, total solar eclipse.
So you already predicted the Turkey earthquake also? Mm-hmm.
No, I not predicted later. I wanted to know if with the solar eclipse in 1999, in addition to the moon, if additional planets were responsible for this heavy earthquake in Turkey on 11 August 1999, and then I found out that only Sun and Moon in this constellation triggered the heavy earthquake in Turkey, because the solar eclipse, the shadow of the solar eclipse came from Germany to Austria and then to Istanbul and the east side of Turkey, and 6 days after this solar eclipse we had this very strong earthquake in Turkey, and about 25,000 people died.
So you mean when there's a full sun eclipse, okay, which meaning the moon is in front of the sun, you know, and then you just see the beautiful aura of the sun around the moon, but it's a total eclipse. That also is very influential?
Yes, this is very influential, and we make measurements with very high precise balances from a famous Swiss balance company, and we measured only with a weight of 200 grams, we measured differences, very small differences, during the solar eclipse.
Okay.
Yes, and there were many, there were two solar eclipses in China last year, 2010, and one in 2009, and I predicted also and made warning for an earthquake in China. And then
and
it happened, yes. Not very strong, not above 6.0, but below, between 5 and 6, and but it happened. And now, because the mass of the planets is much bigger than the moon, of course, then the results are more dangerous.
Okay.
And then I predicted, and I made a warning for springtime 2010. Because I lived at that time, I stayed in Phuket, and I made a warning and say, oh, this constellation in March is very dangerous for heavy earthquake in Sumatra. And then on April 7, 2010, a very strong earthquake happened with magnitude 7.7, 5 o'clock in the morning, and there was a tsunami warning in Phuket on 6:30, and everybody was happy there was no tsunami. So, but then when I follow my research, I see that there is another very dangerous time window in September and October 2010, and I was warning for a new tsunami in September, October, and then it happened that on 25 of October 2010 we had a very heavy earthquake in Sumatra, also with 7.7. maybe 7.8, and the following tsunami, where the tsunami warning came too late. And therefore I see, if somewhere happen a big earthquake on an island or near the coast, the people have to run away after the earthquake and not wait the tsunami warning of the tsunami warning system.
And go to higher ground.
Yes, and go to higher ground.
From the beach.
Yes, go to higher ground.
Or from any water, actually.
Yes. So I can speak about the future months, the months to come, because we have a very dangerous constellation in March, yes, 21 of March.
Okay, that's a few days away.
Yes, and on 6th of April.